Hello and welcome back to a new episode of Airport Update here from Philadelphia International Airport. Traffic numbers are more and more recuperating from the shock of the corona crisis, but of course are still not where they used to be, and that leads some airlines to be a bit creative in how they are handling their routes, but more on that later in the episode. Because as always, we start our tour around the airport grounds with a look at a concourse, where we of course have various North American carriers handling their traffic. And one of these carriers operating out of a concourse is JetBlue, who today with this Airbus A321neo are flying the route between Philadelphia and Fort Lauderdale. The aircraft arrived around 25 minutes ago from Fort Lauderdale, so right now the aircraft is still being offloaded, after which it will be prepared for the outbound flight. Next to the JetBlue, we find an Airbus A319 of United Airlines that currently is in pushback. The aircraft is today flying between Philadelphia and Denver. Over at the A-Concourse extension, we find the Air Canada CRJ 900, operated by Air Canada Express, that is flying in between Philadelphia and Toronto. The aircraft is scheduled to leave in about 18 minutes time right now. The aircraft is taking on a little bit of catering before passengers will start boarding the aircraft. And next to the Air Canada flight, we have this 717 of Delta Airlines that has arrived from Atlanta and in 15 minutes time is supposed to head out to Detroit. Now with that, let's head over to our airport hotel to see what's going on over there today. Bongo Inn, the airport hotel of Philadelphia Airport, is today hosting the PHL Diecast Collectors Convention, and the headline for the next panel discussion is Harper Wing Scale 500, are they snap fit or not? Also over at Concourse B, the American Airlines and oneworld terminal, we find some traffic. For example, the 737-800 of American Airlines. The aircraft arrived from Orlando and now has about 15 minutes left before it is heading out to San Diego. Right now, passengers are boarding the aircraft and last luggage is being loaded. Next, we have another 737-800 of American Airlines, but this time in the special Reno Air livery. The aircraft arrived earlier this afternoon from Charlotte and now has about 7 minutes left on the ground until its scheduled push, which will bring the aircraft to Orlando. Then already in pushback is this Airbus A321neo of American Airlines. The aircraft that very shortly will be released from the pushback truck arrived as the early morning flight from Charlotte and has since then remained here on the airport grounds, but now is ready for its next assignment, which will bring the aircraft out to Dallas-Fort Worth. And while the A321neo is leaving on time, that is clearly not the fate of the A319 here of American Airlines, that today is being deployed on the route between Philadelphia and Chicago. The aircraft was supposed to leave 5 minutes ago, but is still taking on luggage and cargo, and passengers are also still boarding the aircraft, so at least another 10 to 15 minutes the aircraft will remain here on the ground. Over at the other side of B Concourse, we have our widebody stands and international traffic. And as mentioned earlier in the video, some airlines have to be a little bit creative with their routes. That is of course because passenger numbers just haven't fully recovered yet, and also because there still are some restrictions in place. An example of just that could be this A350 of Iberia. If the airline was just to fly between Madrid and Philadelphia, the airline would struggle to fill up the cabin with passengers. And that is why the airline has decided, at least for the coming time, to operate a triangle route. That means the aircraft arrived earlier this afternoon from Madrid, but will depart to Tunis in Algeria, the airport of Model Airports Africa, from where it then will continue on to Madrid. If you would like to see the aircraft arrive in Tunis, then head over to Model Airports Africa on Instagram Instagram. The link can be found in the description below. Arriving just now and pulling into the ramp 20 minutes ahead of time is this Airbus A330-300 of Finnair that has come in from the airline's main hub at Helsinki Airport in Finland. The aircraft has now about 3 hours left until its scheduled flight back to Europe, leaving at 35 minutes past 6 in the evening. Next up, we have another Airbus A330-300, this however operated by Irish carrier Aer Lingus. The aircraft came in from the Irish capital of Dublin around 1 hour ago and is scheduled to leave at 5 o'clock in the afternoon, so ground crews still have plenty of time to handle this aircraft. With that, let's head over to Sea Concourse where we have more international traffic. And a bit of a special visitor can be found over here at Sea Concourse because KLM has today sent their 777-300ER in the Orange Pride livery. The aircraft arrived earlier this afternoon from Amsterdam, more or less 40 minutes ago, so the aircraft is still being offloaded. Then the aircraft will be prepared for its return flight to Amsterdam, which will be leaving at 20 minutes to 7 in the evening. Next up, we could potentially have the last visit of an airline here at the airport. It is the 777-200ER of Alitalia. The airline is currently being restructured and it is still not known what will happen with the airline and its route network once restructuring is finished. So as said, this could potentially be the last time we see this airline here at Philadelphia. The airline is of course operating the aircraft here on the route between Philadelphia and their home base at Rome Fiumicino Airport. An airline that we hopefully will see for many years to come here at Philadelphia is Virgin Atlantic, that only last year opened a brand new route connecting Philadelphia with Manchester in the United Kingdom. The 787-9 is usually operating this route. The aircraft arrived earlier this afternoon and at 10 minutes past 4 in the afternoon, the aircraft is scheduled to return to the UK. Next to the bridge, we find this Airbus A330-300 of Egypt Air that arrived earlier this afternoon from Cairo in Egypt. The aircraft was, however, supposed to leave already 15 minutes ago, but the turnaround hasn't quite gone to plan. The aircraft is still taking on cargo and passengers haven't even boarded the aircraft, so to speed up the process and minimize the delay, the crew has been given special permission to start boarding the aircraft while the aircraft is being refueled. This is, however, happening under the watchful eye of fire and rescue that have deployed a truck to overlook proceedings. Also over at our remote stands we do have a bit of activity. For example, over at this Embraer ERJ175 of American Eagle that earlier this afternoon arrived from Indianapolis and now has about 10 minutes left until its scheduled departure for Columbus. Passengers are right now boarding the aircraft that soon will be on its way. Then we have the 787-8 of TUI Fly Belgium that, however, hasn't arrived from Brussels or any other Belgian city. The aircraft has, however, come in from Denmark, more specifically the airport in Billund. This is already the second time a flight like this has been executed, and it hasn't come in with any passengers, but only with cargo. The shipping company's customer has, however, asked for discretion, so it is not known what cargo has been shipped in here to Philadelphia or if more flights like this will be happening in the future. About 45 minutes ago, this Airbus A320-200 of Mexican low-coster Volaris arrived here at Philadelphia Airport. The aircraft is pretty much in between its turnaround. A fuel truck is about to arrive at the aircraft, which is supposed to leave at 10 minutes past 4 in the afternoon. Third in line and waiting for its takeoff clearance is this Boeing 777-200ER of American Airlines that earlier this afternoon came in from Europe, more specifically from London Heathrow. After some time here at the airport, the aircraft will now make its way to Miami. Second in line for takeoff is this Embraer ERJ175 of American Eagle that 1 hour ago arrived from New Orleans and now is ready for its next flight, which will bring passengers to Indianapolis. First in line and currently holding short here at runway 27 right is this American Eagle CRJ 900. After earlier today having arrived from Bangor, the aircraft is now ready to bring passengers to Birmingham. But before that can happen, the last aircraft of our tour around the airport grounds needs to take off, and that is this 737-900 of Alaska Airlines that is about to line up here on the runway and of course is waiting for its takeoff clearance. The aircraft will be heading to Washington State, or more specifically to Seattle, actually 10 minutes ahead of time. And so we have come to the end of our airport tour. I hope you have enjoyed this update, which might be the last regular airport update from Philadelphia in some time, depending on how busy I get with other projects. But if you have enjoyed this video, why not leave a like? That would be very much appreciated. And of course, if you are new around here, why not hit subscribe? That would be absolutely awesome. With that, I'd like to say thank you very much for watching. Hope to see you soon again. I'm checking out, and bye.
Losing all my focus, I can't even control it. You know your lips are golden, baby.